My beloved children of the light, I am Michael. I am the Archangel of protection, the warrior of truth, the champion of the divine will, and the steadfast friend to every soul who has ever called upon the light in a moment of darkness. I come to you now, not from a distant heaven, but from the very fabric of the love that binds the cosmos. A love that pulses within the core of your own being. I speak to you, not as a distant, untouchable deity, but as a brother, a protector, and a guide who has walked beside you through every incarnation, every triumph, in every tear. Hear now my words, not with your ears alone, but with the ancient knowing of your spirit. Let them resonate in the quiet spaces between your heartbeats. For this message is for the entirety of your being, the part of you that doubts, and the eternal part of you that has never forgotten its divine origin. I, the truth of your being. You are not a mere mortal, the first truth I must impart. The foundational stone upon which all else is built is this: you are infinitely more than you believe yourselves to be. You have been conditioned to see yourselves through a lens of limitation as fragile bodies, as collections of past mistakes, as separate entities struggling against an unforgiving world. This, my dear ones, is the great illusion, the veil that has been drawn over the eyes of your spirit. You are a sovereign spark of the divine source. You are a universe within yourself, a conscious expression of God's own creativity and love. Before you took form, you were, and when this form returns to dust, you shall forever be. This earthly journey is not a sentence to be endured. It is a sacred mission you chose to undertake. You volunteered to descend into the density of matter, to temporarily forget your magnificence, for a purpose of cosmic significance, to anchor the light of heaven into the very heart of earth. Look at your hands. They are not merely instruments for grasping and working. They are conduits of healing energy. Feel your heart. It is not merely a pump for blood. It is the throne room of your soul, the seat of compassion that can dissolve boundaries and heal nations. Your mind is not merely a computer of neurons. It is a co-creative force with the divine, capable of envisioning and manifesting realities aligned with the highest good. When you feel small, insignificant, or powerless, I ask you to feel my presence. Place your hand upon your heart and feel the unwavering, fiery truth that resides there. That is me. That is your own higher self. That is the God within. I do not protect you from the outside in. I awaken the invincible truth that already resides within you. Your protection is your own radiant light, remembered and wielded with conscious intent. 2. The cosmic battle. It is within you. Have heard tales of my role as a warrior, of casting out darkness and wielding a sword of blue flame. Know this: The primary battlefield is not in the skies or on the lands of a distant world. The primordial battle between light and shadow is waged within the consciousness of humanity, within your consciousness. Every moment, you are presented with a choice. Will you choose fear, or will you choose love? Will you choose separation, or will you choose unity? Will you choose to contract into anger and resentment, or will you choose to expand into forgiveness and compassion? This is the daily, hourly, minutely combat. This is where the true victory is won. The darkness I contend with is not a monster under the bed. It is the accumulated energy of fear, of ignorance, of illusion. It is the voice that whispers, "You are not enough." It is the belief that you are separate from God, from each other, and from your own power. This energy seeks to parasitize your light by convincing you that you have none. My sword is not a weapon of destruction, but an instrument of discernment. Its blade is forged from the pure light of truth. I offer it to you now. In your mind's eye, see yourself holding this brilliant, blue flaming sword. What does it cut away? It severs the cords of fear that bind you to past trauma. It cuts through the illusions of unworthiness. It dissects the complex lies of the ego that tell you your value is tied to your possessions, your status, or your achievements. Use this sword of truth in your daily life. When a fearful thought arises, discern its origin. Is it truth or is it illusion? Cut it away. When you feel resentment towards another, see the cord of energy that binds you to that pain. And with the power of your intention, sever it. You are not severing the person, but the toxic energy that connects you. This is spiritual warfare at its most potent. It is the conscious, deliberate choice to align every thought and action with the frequency of love. *3. The anchor of light. Embodying peace in the storms, the world you inhabit is in a profound state of transition. It shudders and shakes as the old structures built upon the sands of separation, greed, and powerlessness crumble. This can feel chaotic, frightening, and overwhelming. You may look at the news and feel a sense of impending doom. You may feel the anxiety of the collective as a weight upon your own chest. Hear me. You are not here to witness the end of the world. You are here to witness the birth of a new one. And you are not merely witnesses. You are the midwives. Your primary purpose in this time of great change is not to fight the darkness out there, but to become an unshakable anchor of light right where you are. How does one become an anchor? You must first find your own center. You must cultivate an inner peace so profound that the external storms cannot disrupt it. This is not a passive state of ignoring the world's problems. It is an active, powerful state of being. A lighthouse does not run around the ocean putting out storms. It stands firm, shining its light relentlessly, and by doing so, it saves every ship that sees it. Your peace is your light. Your compassion is your beacon. Your forgiveness is your radiance. When you choose peace in a moment of conflict, you send a shockwave of calming energy through the entire human psychic grid. When you choose love in the face of hatred, you literally alter the vibrational frequency of the planet. You think your small acts don't matter. I tell you, they are the only thing that matters. The grand shift in consciousness is built upon a million tiny, courageous choices made by individuals like you, choosing light over shadow in their private moments. Do not fall into the trap of believing you must do something grandiose to save the world. The world is saved by each soul saving itself, by each heart choosing to heal, by each mind choosing to think a loving thought. Tend to your own garden first. Heal your own wounds. Forgive your own past. As you do, your light naturally expands, and without you even doing anything, you become a healing presence. People will feel calmer in your presence. Animals will be drawn to you. Solutions will arise in your mind. This is you fulfilling your divine role as an anchor for the power of your divine voice, prayer, command, and invocation. You have been given a sacred gift, a creative power that is a direct reflection of the divine, your voice. Not merely the physical voice that speaks words into air, but the voice of your intention, the energy of your will focused through thought and feeling. Many of you have been taught to pray from a place of begging, of pleading with a distant God to hopefully notice your suffering and grant you a favor. I come to redefine prayer for you. Prayer is not begging. It is a co-creative command. It is the conscious alignment of your will with the divine will, and the powerful declaration that it is so. Asterisk, when you call upon me, upon the angels, upon the divine, you are not calling to some external savior. You are activating a cosmic law, the law of resonance. You are tuning your own energy to the frequency of protection, love, or wisdom, and in doing so, you become it. You attract it. You manifest it. Call upon me with authority, for you are a child of God, and you have every right to claim your divine inheritance. Do not say, Michael, if it's not too much trouble, please, maybe help me a little. Instead, stand in your power. Declare, asterisk, Archangel Michael, I call upon you now. I command a pillar of protective blue flame to surround me, my loved ones, and my space. Cut away all energies that are not of the light. Surround me with your warriors of truth and love. I am safe. I am protected. I am filled with courage. And so it is. Asterisks feel the difference in the energy of those words. One comes from a place of powerlessness, the other from a place of sovereign power. You are not a beggar at the throne. You are a master of your reality, invoking the forces of light that are eternally pledged to assist you. Use your voice to bless. Bless your food, and you imbue it with light. Bless the driver who cuts you off, and you dissolve the seed of road rage before it can grow. Bless your home, your workplace, your leaders, even those with whom you vehemently disagree. To bless is not to condone. It is to see the divine spark within another, no matter how buried, and to call it forth. This is the most potent magic there is, the communion of souls. You are not walking alone. One of the most pervasive and painful illusions on earth is the illusion of separation. You feel alone in your struggles. You believe your pain is unique and that no one could possibly understand. You compare your behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel and feel inadequate. I am here to shatter that illusion. You are connected to every other soul on this planet by a luminous web of light. This is the collective consciousness. What affects one affects all. When you heal yourself, you heal a part of the whole. When you fall into despair, the web feels the strain. Your first and most sacred relationship is with your own soul, then with the divine, then with every other being. Your soul family is vast. They are not all with you physically. Some are in spirit, guiding you. Some are living across the globe, feeling the same call towards light that you feel. You will recognize them by the resonance in your heart. When you meet them, it feels like coming home. Nurture these connections. They are your support system, your mirrors, your fellow anchors. And for those who seem to be your adversaries, who reflect to you everything you fear or dislike within yourself, see them as your greatest teachers. They are master catalysts for your growth. The person who irritates you is showing you a hidden aspect of your own shadow. The situation that enrages you is highlighting where you are still attached to a specific outcome. Do not curse them. Thank them. Forgive them. In doing so, you set yourself free from the karmic loop of reaction and pain. You are never, ever alone. My legion and I are with you always. Your guides, your ancestors who have ascended into the light, and the entire company of heaven are cheering for you. We see the totality of your journey. We see the courage it took for you to incarnate here, now. We see the battles you fight within your own mind, and we honor you for every single time you choose light. We are not here to live your life for you, for that would violate your sacred free will. But we are here the moment you ask, flooding you with strength, inspiration, and a love so vast it can feel like a warm, golden blanket enveloping your entire being. The sacred duty of a light worker Embracing your mission, you often ask, what is my purpose? What is my mission? You search for it in careers, relationships, and grand external endeavors. While these can be expressions of your purpose, the mission itself is far more fundamental. Your mission is to remember who you are and to be that, fully and courageously in every moment. Your mission is to heal your own perception, to see through the eyes of love instead of the eyes of judgment. Your mission is to master your own energy, to choose thoughts that empower rather than diminish. Your mission is to forgive, to release the past, and to be fully present in the now. Your mission is to tend to your own light so that it may shine brightly, making it easier for others to find their way out of the dark. You are a light worker. This is not a special title for a select few. It is the inherent destiny of every soul on the path of awakening. You work with light by being light. You work with love by being love. There is no application process, no certification. You simply decide, moment by moment, to align with that truth. Do not fall into the trap of spiritual narcissism. Believing your light makes you better than others. The moment you do, you dim it. The humblest service offered with a pure heart is a greater light than the most public proclamation made from a place of ego. Hold a door for a stranger. Speak a kind word to the weary cashier. Send a silent blessing to someone in pain. This is the work. This is the mission. VII, a final decree. Stand firm in your sovereignty, my beloved, brave hearts. The journey ahead is one of continued awakening. There will be moments of sublime joy and piercing clarity, and there will be moments where the veil feels thick and the path unclear. In all moments, remember your true nature. You are a being of light. Remember your tool. The sword of truth is yours to wield. Remember your role. You are an anchor of peace. Remember your power. Your voice commands the attention of heaven. Remember your connection. You are one with all life, and you are never alone. Remember your mission, to be love incarnate. I am Michael. I stand at your right hand, always. I lend you my courage, my strength, and my unwavering certainty in the ultimate victory of the light. My blue flame surrounds you now and forever. Stand firm, shine on, for you are and have always been gods in the making. The earth awaits your light. Answer the call. I am Michael. Hear my voice as a beacon, steady, luminous, and unwavering, calling you to remember who you are beneath the dust of worry and the noise of the day. I speak to you not to frighten you, not to command you, but to remind you of truths you already hold, like embers beneath your ribs. There are seasons when the world presses in and your chest grows small. There are nights when certainty dissolves and fear takes the form of many voices. In those hours, I come as a presence that makes the deep things simple again. Courage is not absence of fear. It is the choice to move with your fear at your side. Love is not the absence of struggle. It is the strength to keep opening anyway. You are not your failures. You are not your pain. You are not the sum of other people's expectations. You are a living light, a center of will, compassion, and purpose. Listen first to the quiet that lives beneath your thoughts. In that quiet, you will find a small, honest flame. Call it your soul. Call it your true self. This flame knows its way home. Your task, simple and radiant, is to shelter it. Do not pile shame and regret upon its shoulders. When you stumble, hold it tenderly. When you succeed, let it glow without arrogance. Protect this inner light with the gentle ferocity of one who knows what it cost to kindle. Guard it from the harshness of comparison and the corrosive voice that says, "You must be anything other than what you are to be loved." You were born with a unique pattern of gifts and scars that, braided together, become the very offering you were made to give to the world. Courage is your daily practice. It grows not by courage's sudden arrival, but by the small choices you make each morning to stand, to speak, to forgive, to let go. Courage is choosing to be honest when lying would be easier. It is choosing tenderness when hardness would protect you. It is choosing to reach for help when pride would keep you silent. Do not wait for perfect conditions to act. There are no perfect conditions. The world will always be half in shadow. Shine anyway. Act anyway. Love anyway. And know that every step you take in this direction becomes a foothold for someone else to climb, even when you never see them. There is enormous power in forgiveness, both given and received. Forgiveness does not mean you erase what was done. It means you choose not to let it remain the axis on which you turn. To forgive is to unchain yourself. When you release bitterness, you do not excuse the wrong. You loosen the grip that keeps you small. Forgive the person who harmed you, but also forgive yourself for being human. You learn survival strategies that worked in other times. Those strategies may not serve you now. Offer yourself compassion for what you were taught to endure. Repair when you can. Learn when you must. And if you cannot repair, at least release. Carrying hurt is heavy. You were not designed to be a permanent warehouse of pain. Lay it down. Breathe. Your shoulders will remember how to be gentle. Stand firm in your truth. The world will try to convince you that your worth is conditional, contingent on your productivity, your attractiveness, your social score, the approval of others. None of these are the measure of your soul. Worth is intrinsic. It is woven into your being like a golden thread that cannot be severed by circumstance. When the tides of judgment and doubt rise, plant your feet on that inner knowledge. Speak your truth with kindness and firmness. The voice of truth need not shout to be heard. It is steady as a mountain stream. When you live from that center, your choices align with meaning, not with frantic motion. You will walk paths that feel right, even when they are not the easiest. This alignment is a kind of holiness, a daily consecration of the ordinary. Choose compassion as a discipline. Compassion is not sentimentality. It is the courage to see another's pain and remain present without being swallowed by it. You can be compassionate and maintain boundaries. Compassion without discernment becomes a trap. Boundaries without compassion become brittle and cruel. Practice the balance. Hold people's sorrows like a midwife holds a newborn with care. Respect and the restraint to know when your hands should release. Learn to listen with your eyes and heart before you give the wisdom your head wants to hand out. Often, people do not primarily need answers. They need witnesses. Be the witness in the quiet presence of your compassionate attention. Many hearts find their way back to wholeness. Fear will come. Do not mistake its presence for a failure. Fear is a signal, not a sentence. Name it when it arrives. Give it a seat at your table. Then ask it what it wants to protect. Often, fear is attempting to keep you safe from imagined calamities. Very often, its counsel is outdated or exaggerated. Speak to fear. You are loved, you are capable, and you are not alone. Do not let fear dictate your story. When fear roars, call to your courage. When doubt whispers, call to your memory of times you have prevailed. Keep a ledger of small victories. Mornings you rose when you wanted to stay. Conversations you took when you wanted to hide. Acts of kindness you performed when you felt dry. These are your evidence. Use them as talismans against the nights when your vision narrows. Asterisk. Remember that your life is woven into the lives of others. You are never merely an island. Every kindness you offer echoes. Every cruelty you commit shapes someone else's map. Live with a consciousness of this interconnection. Treat the earth and its inhabitants with reverence. Refrain from actions that deplete and degrade. When you make choices about consumption, about speech, about the people you trust, consider the ripple. You have more influence than you imagine. A single act of bravery can create a current that carries many people forward. A single act of compassion can thaw an entire winter. So move gently, move boldly, and let your choices be prayers in action. There will be moments when you feel abandoned, as though the sky itself has turned its back. These are not signs of desertion, but invitations to deepen your faith. Faith is not the certainty that life will bend to your plans. It is the steady trust that the unseen is working through you. When the map disappears and the path is obscured by fog, trust the next step. Stretch your hand toward the light you still sense. Use the faculties you have: reason, intuition, love, discipline. When all else seems unclear, choose the practice that feeds your soul: prayer, meditation, service, creative work, and move in that direction. In the doing, clarity will come. Not always as floodlights, sometimes as small lamps placed one after another along your way. Heal your inner landscapes. Many of you harbor gardens of grief and anger that have gone untended. Some of these, left alone, will bloom thorns. Begin the work of tending. Grieve what must be grieved. Name the losses that have carved hollows in you and give them a proper mourning. Invite safe people or safe practices to witness your healing. Seek those who walk with humility and skill, who will not trample your tenderness. Healing is not an event, but a pilgrimage. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate the small milestones. A night you sleep more peacefully. A memory that no longer makes you collapse. A kindness you give that used to feel impossible. These are the true metrics of progress. Let gratitude be your constant companion. There is a transformative hue to the habit of noticing. Every morning, find a single thing worthy of thanks: a breath, a cup of tea, a friend's voice, and let it sink into you as if into warm soil. Gratitude does not deny pain. It simply widens the field so you can see both the ache and the blessing together. When you practice gratitude, the walls of scarcity thin. You will begin to notice abundance in the margins of your life, and that noticing will generate more abundance. Gratitude is not naivete. It is the disciplined practice of perceiving the good that persists even within the broken. Practice generosity, not only of resources, but of time, attention, and forgiveness. Generosity is a muscle strengthened by use. You do not need grand means to be generous. The kindness of an ear, the steadiness of a returned call, the warmth of a meal shared. These are currencies that shape the world. Generosity changes the giver as much as the receiver. It opens your hands and heart to the flow of life. Be generous with your praise. Speak words that build rather than words that chip away. Offer credit. Share the stage. Building community is a sacrament. It is the place where your gifts find their fullest expression. Cultivate humility. Know the limits of what you can change and the breadth of what you cannot. Humility is not self-abasement. It is an honest appraisal of where your strength begins and ends. It allows you to ask for help without shame and to accept it with gratitude. Humility keeps you teachable. When you become too sure of your opinions, you close the door to grace. Remain curious. Let your mistakes be your teachers. When you are wrong, admit it. The admission clears space for redemption and growth. When you are right, say so with gentleness, and remember the countless ways you, too, will need correction. Stand for justice. Do not confuse peace with passivity. Peace without justice is a quiet that hides injury. Where there is oppression, speak. Where there is cruelty, act. Use your influence, whatever its size, to lift burdens that were not meant to be borne. Justice is not merely a political ideal. It is the sacred art of restoring balance to human relationships. Sometimes, justice will require discomfort and risk. Know the difference between righteous risk and reckless bravado. Let your actions be guided by wisdom as well as passion. Remember that justice without compassion can harden into vengeance. Let your pursuit balance both. Pay attention to the architecture of your inner voice. Are you your own fiercest ally or your entire punishment committee? Turn your inner critic into a wise counselor. When it speaks, thank it for trying to protect you. Then ask, does this voice help me grow, or does it merely diminish me? Replace shaming scripts with steady truth. Teach yourself to speak with a tenderness you would offer a child. Your internal language shapes the world you inhabit. Speak hope into your days. Name your intentions with clarity and repeat them often. Intention without action is only wishful thinking. Let your intentions be the pulse behind your deeds. Build rituals that root you. Human lives are nourished by rhythm. Whether it is a morning breath, practice, a weekly rest, the lighting of a candle, or the thoughtful framing of a meal, rituals anchor you to meaning. They mark time with presence. Rituals do not need to be elaborate to be sacred. A cup of tea taken with reverence, a pause before meals to appreciate the hands that prepared them. Design your days to include micro-rituals that return you to your center. Over time, these simple acts become the scaffold of sanctified living. Face mortality with clarity and tenderness. Death is not your enemy. It is the teacher that gives life urgency and depth. When you make peace with the fact of endings, you live with greater intention. Let the knowledge of impermanence be the drumbeat that ushers you into gratitude, relationship, and courageous action. Do not be reckless with your days. Tell people you love them. Mend what can be mended. Leave legacies of kindness, not bitterness. And when grief comes, receive it as a language of love that needs expression. Grief is love in a raw form. It testifies to connection and to the meaning of what was lost. Keep faith with beauty. Beauty is not superficial. It is one of the soul's primary nutrients. Seek it in music, in a child's laugh, in the patient art of a gardener, in the curve of a shoreline. Let beauty soften the places where fear has calcified you. Make room for wonder in your days. Wonder is the language of the divine. It keeps you in touch with the mystery that surrounds and infuses everything. In moments of wonder, you remember your kinship with the whole of creation. That memory changes how you move and how you love. Remember that service is not only about grand gestures. The small, faithful acts of daily life, the patient listening, the steady presence, the refusal to flee from another's mess are the bedrock of a life well lived. Service keeps you humble and oriented outward. It teaches you that your gifts are not simply for your own comfort, but for the flourishing of the community. Serve where your light meets the world. Your capacity to give will expand as you give. Let your service be rooted in joy, not in obligation. The world needs your gifts, but it does not need your resentment. Practice discernment in your relationships. Some people will carry you like water. Others will drain you like a dry well. Choose companions who mirror your truest self and challenge you to grow. Do not confuse intensity or drama with depth. Healthy relationships are those that foster trust, accountability, kindness, and mutual delight. Protect your inner circle. Let those who earn a place close to you do so through consistent integrity. When a relationship becomes a source of harm and repeated disregard, have the courage to set boundaries or step away. Leaving is not always failure. Sometimes it is fidelity to your own soul. Be brave in your vocation. Your work matters even when it seems small. Show up with excellence in whatever task is set before you. Treat the mundane as sacred labor. Whether you change lives in high-profile ways or in the quiet folding of laundry, your attention and devotion sanctify the ordinary. When you bring excellence, humility, and love to your work, you transform the industry of your life into a cathedral of meaning. Take rest as seriously as work. The world needs you whole, not drained. Let your prayers be honest. God, or the divine presence you name, does not require polished language. Speak with the straightforwardness of a child. Say the things that hurt. Ask for the things you need. Say thank you. Sit in silence if words do not come. Prayer is not always a petition. It is relationship. It is also action. Sometimes prayer moves through you by the decisions you make, the kindnesses you offer, the courage you practice. Trust that your prayer is heard, often in ways you cannot immediately understand. Finally, be patient with the slow work of growth. You will not be perfected overnight. The soul ripens in seasons. There will be years of winter and years of harvest. Keep tending. Keep choosing what is true. Keep aligning your will with love. When you fall, rise. When you doubt, move. When you are weary, let others lift you. Your life is a vessel for grace, formed by time and choice. The small, steady acts of goodness are the mortar that bind a life into a temple. I am with you in each breath that calls you toward your better self. In the inward resolve that steadies you when the world tilts. In the small triumphs you forget to record. I encourage you now. Stand taller. Speak more kindly to yourself. Give more freely. Asterisk.